attempting to appeal to the next generation with clever logoing. Thinking this story would be best served by Ant-Man's POV of a guitar amp. Also, if the movie didn't want me to ask questions about how this body swap machine works, it shouldn't have given me this tantalizingly detailed look. Now that I know that 4 screws and a bright light are involved, I simply must know more. Editors who take the give me an orgy of evidence note too literally.
Oh, I thought you were going on a run.
That's no excuse for all these pillows. Seriously, I count 1, 2, 6. 6 pillows, god damn.
Remember we talked about the wig thing?
Oh, you actually wanted to do that?
Having no desire to put that boner we all know you have to good use.
Oh, hey, cutie.
I get introducing a level of excitement and roleplay into the bedroom, but this isn't a celebrity hall pass situation. Shelby is pretending to be a literal friend that Cyrus has, and that is a level of red flag ignorance I cannot abide.
Can't wait to marry this nerd tomorrow.
With a last name like Wants Lattes, I can't say I blame her wanting to shed that shit.
Hashtag Rufia.
Not a single one of these buzzwordy, trendalicious kids thought it problematic to have a port moniker that featured Roofy so prominently. I love me some freeze-frame sinning, so buckle up, kids. We'll be starting with the fact that all these posts specifically show that Cyrus the Virus, Shelby's boyfriend, liked them. Perhaps not impossible, but I think it's far more likely the Instagram algorithm is deliberately trying to make Shelby jealous. Chekhov's peanut allergy. Hats off to the person who beat me to commenting Riz on Riz on Riz on the IG for Pineda Catering. Grammatical war crimes does not a mean girl make you. The sad realization that no one has ever commented badoing on a CinemaSins video. This has nothing to do with Nikki. He leaves this comment all the time. It's a cry for help. I don't know who needs to hear this, but on social media there are no small pages, only small pictures. Finally, this intense social media montage was a cool and visually dynamic way to key us into the internal concerns and insecurities of this character while giving a quick and believable example of how social media can eat away at your self-worth. Also, subjecting me to an intense social media montage. Also, finally for real this time also, I think Shelby's real engagement issue here is that she is listed as an avocado enthusiast and does not appear to be posting any avocado content. More confusing still, her handle is Shelbo_macaroni, and yet I see no pasta pics at all, let alone any representation of the even nicher subgroup of elbow macaroni specifically. This movie might be less about the pressures of social media and more about proper branding and content management.
Like vaginal art installations?
That's a weird way to talk about Christina piercings.
This fucking house.
Edgar Wright presents Cyrus turning off the car. Also, you already know this guy is an irredeemable dick just because he chooses to block this much of the entrance instead of putting it in this perfectly good spot right here. Way to ruin the twist, movie.
Now, I've been running the charts. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking like leveling up, turn over new leaf, TED Talk kind of shit.
This movie was hoping 2025 would bring with it a specific Oscar category for creating the most immediately unlikable group of Gen whatever is the newest Gen that I'm supposed to be annoyed by. To be fair, they would have won it hands down. And in a year with Madam Web as competition.
Wow, how are you guys?
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Wow,
Yeah.
you guys make a beautiful.
This group greeting each other is making me nauseous, and only 10% of that has to do with the camera constantly spinning.
Cyrus the Virus, baby!
I can dig that there just aren't that many cool pop culture Cyruses to choose from. Still, that doesn't mean Con Air is a movie worth plagiarizing your nickname from. Can you dig it?
I forgot about this thing. Look at this.
Being able to forget about such a provocative piece. It's a titillating yet revolting display of the yin and yang relationship between our fantasies and our nightmares, all while forcing us to confront the symbiotic, adversarial, and unavoidably sexual connection we all have with our mother's uterus. Also not asking the sculpture if it wanted to be fisted.
All that stuff that went down with Dennis and Forbes. No, she wasn't there. Oh my God, wait, you weren't there?
Sure, Shelby wasn't present at the party when whatever went down, but nobody told her about it after the fact, and she didn't ask follow-up questions when one of her friends was suddenly expelled and disappeared forever. That's a lot of convenient ignorance, all to justify this rapid flashback position for an audience 8 years later. That being said, the use of these black and white stills to show the progression and change of the story as characters' account of the story progresses and changes makes for some pretty damn excellent flashback position. However, excellent flashback position is still flashback position.
Then, obviously, Forbes went off to California, started working as a tech guy, joined some tech company doing tech company shit.
There was a chance here to subvert this white dude with a Zuckerbergian aesthetic stereotype, but the movie is only concerned with subverting my patience.
If you look at it normally, it's like this one thing, right? But then if you look at it through a colored lens, you see something different inside.
That's racist. Also, wow, this artwork depicts a person inside another person. Hey, you think they realize that's exactly what happens in this movie? Somebody should tell them, because they could have totally pitched this as a deliberate foreshadowing. Holy shit, this movie does not trust me at all. It's like, look, man, put your phone down and focus up. F everything else. Ruben loves this woman and this woman alone. Don't you get it fucking twisted, okay? This is what you need to know right now.
8
years ago, my mom died. And I had to come here, her house, and decide what to do with all of her work and
A decision that all the available evidence suggests you are still yet to make?
Oh, malicious, baby!
The dramatic irony that nobody is ready for the jelly this man is about to bring.
You know, but I'm not in a place particularly where I feel like I can totally do that at the moment.
This performance is so, intriguing that I feel like we're missing an entire subplot where Cyrus is constantly switching minds with Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert De Niro.
Hey, don't worry, I'm doing it too.
Multiple people have expressed concern about Forbes and his possible resentment towards individuals in this room. Yet, don't worry, I'm doing it too is all it takes for them to go along with him, asking them to put electrodes on their heads 5 minutes after his arrival. The sin is kids.
It's just a 20-second experience. That's it. I promise.
The same promise I made to my college girlfriend somehow makes it into the script. The camera operator woke up, chose violence, and decided to make it their personal mission to find out what's inside my stomach.
But it's actually simpler than you might think.
No, your dumbed-down explanation of the brain being like a hard drive is simple, but it doesn't ever approach anything that could be considered an explanation. And yes, I know this is Beatrice in a Forbes suit, but she didn't have to claim it was simple. Also, technological innovation tends to happen pretty gradually and over a long period of time. Yet we've gone from having no body-swapping tech to body-swapping tech that can be carried around in a briefcase and operated by anyone who's seen it used once in the space of 5 years.
How many people have, done this?
Oh, more than you might think.
Movie thinks that coyly acknowledging Face Off, Freaky Friday, 17 Again, 13 Going on 30, Being John Malkovich, Change Up, and approximately 27 episodes of Star Trek will excuse it for once again attempting to reinvent the body swap genre. I'm not sitting the result, I'm sitting the attempt.
I mean, it's not a coincidence that we're all here together tonight.
Well, yeah, that's how f***ing invites work. You weren't all aimlessly driving around waiting for serendipity to stumble you all upon this house at exactly the same time, were you? Jesus, what the f*** is she talking about, and can I smoke some of it?
Just did it without telling any of us what it was, and that makes me really uncomfortable. I don't understand how you're so comfortable.
Shelby would be an avocado enthusiast at CinemaSins.
Would it make you feel more comfortable if I showed you how the machine worked?
No, I'm okay.
Wow, the movie briefly channeled itself into Shelby's body to make sure it didn't have to explain itself.
Wait, is she now high as because Brooke was high as
If Shelby is now feeling the effects of being high, I wonder if everyone feels a different experience based on the ways our brains develop over our life. I mean, we are more than just our thoughts. We are shaped by physical neurons in our brain. Man, I can't wait for the movie to explore the idea. Sure, it won't waste this opportunity with sex and manslaughter.
No one says dude except for you, dude.
Yeah, it's almost like every character was given over-the-top affectations to make it easier for the audience to figure out who is whom. I can't believe that everyone okayed leaving the fucking room with someone else in the driving seat. If they're playing a game, why the fuck would they even need to leave? Also, double holy shit, the real Dennis is also fine with whoever is in his body having access to his phone. Figure the second rule would be everyone handing their phones in. I'm beginning to think these caricatures aren't real human beings. Also, if you're watching this and haven't seen the movie, good fucking luck understanding anything I'm saying. Note, the same sentiment applies if you have seen the movie too.
Are you sure everyone's in the right spot?
My instinct was that the movie wouldn't have the nerve to show us this diagram unless it actually represented where the wires need to be. And while everyone's first initial is accounted for and there are 8 connections drawn, can't understand how you would actually use this to tell who was assigned to which wire and where they should go. Seriously, guys, I used a calculator, a jug of Mountain Dew, 2 sticky notes, and everything.
Even this game is important. Like playing this, becoming a different ethnicity, it could change people's worldviews.
The movie admits to knowing that there is much more ground that could have been covered with this concept, and now I can confirm that it is just choosing not to.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson, final answer. It's only on a second watch through that you'll appreciate that this is Dennis and Beatrice talking to each other, and this sin is for the movie thinking it warrants Inception levels of rewatching.
The machine's got one more round anyway, and then it has to charge for 24 hours.
Arbitrary limit plot device that won't actually influence the outcome is arbitrary.
An hour ago, you were trying to convince me to play the game, and now that I'm actually having a good time, you're questioning it? Honey, that's not fair.
Actually, it is fair. Cyrus is a piece of shit, sure, but he's a piece of shit that has a right to change his mind about participating in something he now doesn't feel comfortable with.
Why don't we have a signal so that we know whose body we are in?
Isn't the whole point of an orgy not knowing whose body you're in? I mean, the game? The point of the game? The eyebrow scratching will go on for all the sometime. Once again, I am baffled that people are allowing their phones to be accessed by their friends with zero supervision, especially Nikki, whose fucking career is on that phone. Baffled, I said. Glad someone finally said it. Hans was hot first.
Are you serious? I just heard your spider freak out.
This is concrete evidence because no one else in the world is afraid of spiders. Certainly not me.
I feel like I'm wearing a wig.
Scene is missing Shelby's character jumping through the camera, holding the audience by the hand and explaining exactly why It's What's Inside is such a clever title.
This whole place is
falling apart.
I ran the numbers in approximately 13 words of this script to not refer to some kind of foreshadowing. There's so much subtext in every scene of this movie, and it's so subtle. Sometimes I wish they'd just spell it out for me in big flashing pink letters. I'm sorry, but even without the aforementioned "this place is falling apart," there's no way I'm playing hide at someone else's sausage balanced while on anything more than one story is too high balcony.
I can't do this.
The power of boners makes Cyrus not even want to use someone else's boner.
You're acting like a different person.
Saying this to your girlfriend who is currently inhabiting the body of a different person.
I guess I have to just feel guilty about masturbating in the shower with my loofah brush.
You shouldn't feel guilty, but are you not sore from using something so abrasive?
That Shelby is in Nikki's body.
Is it fair to consider the climax of the movie ruined? Discuss.
We can't touch the bodies.
A rule that should have been instituted at the start of the proceedings, perhaps.
Are you even supposed to have that machine out here?
This is an obvious no. What a useless question.
You obviously have to go into Ruben's body.
He could go into Brooke's body. You know, if the movie felt comfortable approaching the topic of trans identity as something more than a third act twist joke.
So Maya and I are just shit out of luck. I have to stay in Ruben's body for the rest of my fucking life, bro?
I mean, the alternative is staying in Cyrus's body for the rest of your life, and I can't get my head around why Dennis the asshole would prefer that over Ruben.
I'm in a relationship.
When's the wedding?
Finding a relationship by the presence of a wedding.
Yeah.
You're so cool.
Yeah.
Big f***ing cool guy on campus, yeah?
Cool?
And then what happened to you?
I am so glad that this interesting body swap thriller took a hard left turn into 902. I couldn't care less of a shit about what these people think of each other.
This is Cyrus' mom. I pushed Dennis Markowitz and Maya Wilson off the roof.
It's almost like trusting everyone to not f with each other's phones was a bad idea. I feel like someone super wise said that once. Also fine, Dennis is distraught at the death of his body, high, and generally a bit dumb. I even think he hates Cyrus, but this framing him for murder idea comes in out of left field and is a bizarre play that feels more in service of the movie's resolution than it does in service of any motivations he's displayed tonight.
Guys! Where's Forbes?
Oh, Forbes, he's running away and will conveniently reappear just as you realized he was missing, and we'll enter the shot in 3, 2, 1.
Honey, I'm gonna need your help to use the machine, okay, because I don't trust this guy. You feeling up for it?
I don't know if you've ever carried an unconscious human body around, but the first thought you have when doing so is, boy, I wish I wasn't carrying this unconscious human body around anymore. You certainly do not choose to double back on ground you've already covered in the name of conversation.
That is my f***ing body.
And look what you've done with it. You made an Instagram account.
An Instagram account that you're jealous of, Shelby. I guess the hypocrisy might be the point, but the fact that Nikki isn't calling her out on said hypocrisy feels more like stupidity.
You don't get to decide if you can keep my f***ing body.
Being ignorant of squatters' rights.
I'm the only one who knows how to work the machine. So yeah, I kind of do.
The movie thinks women will literally steal other women's bodies instead of just dumping their boyfriends. Also, Shelby was the only person I kinda had some empathy for, and the movie decided to throw that empathy out of a window and onto a model vagina. Cool. But now I hate everyone and care not for whom ends up more fuckered in the end.
Shelby, honey, what are you doing down here?
I'm moping in this room that I picked at random, and definitely not because it will incriminate you in a few minutes.
So I was the consolation prize.
This movie starts with you impersonating Nikki, catchphrase and all. So how is his attraction to her a surprise?
If I didn't have you in my life, I wouldn't have anything at all.
Overly creative ways of saying you're better than nothing.
Quick question. When did you cut yourself on this chair?
Shabo, come on.
Cyrus conveniently mentions cutting himself in this room, which allows Maya to make the leap that he lied while being in Ruben's body so he could make out with Nikki's body. This perfect and completely inorganic setup is only made worse by Cyrus doing the most self-incriminating thing possible when he awkwardly ignores the accusation entirely. It's like being accused of murder and hoping the judge will let you off because you got a bus to catch.
I feel like I've reincarnated into Shelby's body, into this new vessel to come here and correct all of our sins.
Realizing this now when there are already 85 sins on the board.
I'm gonna untie you. We're kind of on a time crunch. We just need to switch everybody back.
Why does Nikki suddenly trust Forbes to do the right thing? He started all this and she has no way of verifying what he's doing.
The cops are gonna be here in like 15-20 minutes.
This movie's treatment of the cops is essentially the same as someone trying in vain to clear out a house party.
Wait, are those the cops?
Like, they keep bringing it up.
The cops are down the driveway.
But they are not really convincing.
Guys, the cops are here.
And they do it too frequently, to the point that the viewer stops believing them.
P.S. non sequitur. Is anyone else like totally over the whole Black Lives Matter shit, or is that just me?
You need to leave.
To be fair, publishing that video is probably the best way to guarantee that Shelby leaves Nikki's body. I'm not saying this is a great outcome for her, but it would get Nikki her body back.
Okay, I have a plan. You just have to trust me. I need you in on this.
No, you f***ing don't. The only person you need in on this is Forbes, the guy wiring the wires. You can tell Dennis whatever the f*** he wants to hear. This is just a way for us to know what your plan is, which, congrats, even after telling me, I still don't fully understand.
I'm pretty sure I'm still fucking high. I don't know who's who or what's what. I'm
confused, bro.
Blaming the weed your character is smoking for a confusing-ass script.
I'm back in my body, Shelby's back in hers, Cyrus in his, he goes to jail, Maya's in Brooke, Forbes in Ruben, he marries Sophia, and you're in Forbes.
But why is Forbes agreeing to not be in his own body? Can't the same thing be achieved by Dennis being in Ruben's body instead of Forbes's? Unless Forbes wants to marry Sophia, but there hasn't been a single mention of that. I can't be the only person suspicious of the plan made by the fucker that got you all in this mess.
Maya goes into Shelby.
Hate to be so pedantic, but Maya is already in Shelby's body. I lied. I don't hate it.
I get stuck in Forbes?
Yes, you could just take his machine and switch with somebody else and live the rest of your life as an astronaut or the Dalai Lama or Jared Leto or whoever the
So an astronaut, the Dalai Lama, and Jared Leto walk into a bar. The astronaut asks the bartender why Dennis can't take the machine regardless of what body he ends up in. The Dalai Lama agrees, citing that going into Forbes' body doesn't give him any more information about how to work the machine. And Jared Leto says 30 Seconds to Mars is based on a true story. Then the bartender asks, what idiot wrote this joke? Also, why would Forbes volunteer to give up the machine to fucking Dennis of all people?
I mean, you can stop the attack with an EpiPen, which I have, but I'm not telling anyone where it is.
Let's use a bit of logic here, people. What are the odds of the EpiPen being anywhere other than on Nikki's person? Unless we're saying that back before round 2 started, she had the foreknowledge to hide the fucking thing somewhere in the house for reasons beyond knowing.
Force this door down!
You have a murder confession and clear signs of disturbance in the house. You have all the probable cause and should already be in the house violating the Constitution. If for some reason you are joining us now, let me be clear. No, we have not totally lost grip on reality and decided to send the 2022 Best Picture winner Coda. Although I will take this opportunity to encourage you to watch that instead of this.
I will fucking rip your spleen out of your asshole!
Well, that's wildly impractical. You'd have to pull it through the large and possibly small intestine, and I doubt she'd survive long enough to really appreciate the lesson being imparted.
Are you kidding? I will irritate!
This lady is walking fine without it, so I must assume this crutch is only in her car for road rage purposes.
No, I'm Forbes.
We're about to find out that the real Forbes has been incapacitated or unable to figure out where Beatrice went long enough for the entire night's events to happen, and we'll never know how Beatrice managed to guarantee that shit.
I showed her the machine thinking that it would reconnect us.
The genius who created one of the most sophisticated pieces of technology conceivable also thought it would be a smart idea to use that technology to switch bodies with his unstable sister. It's like Alexander Graham Bell prank calling the Jerky Boys. Also, even more fortunately something inspired Forbes to make this incredible piece of technology portable, which made it easily stealable by a coworker, vengeful family member, the Russians, North Korea, Martians, or whoever we're supposed to be scared of this week.
Yeah, back at the lab, my team and I would mainly use it to play this game like Mafia or Werewolf.
Only the creator of the sock has a right to be more annoyed about the total misuse of a revolutionary invention.
Turns out this whole time she's just been stewing, festering, waiting to get back.
Let's break down how incredible the opportunity that has been presented to Beatrice is. She gets screwed over by Dennis and, among other reasons, ends up in psychiatric care. 8 years later, her brother invents and presents her with a new piece of technology that will allow her to escape the Institute. But wait, there's more. This opportunity presents itself on the same weekend, possibly even the very same day, as a reunion party which will gather together all the people linked to the event that screwed up her life. All of the above allowing her to enact an intricate revenge plot that I can only presume she invents on the car ride over there. God must be so bored in this universe if he has time to orchestrate this shit. Speaking of plans, what was Beatrice's plan after getting hold of Dennis's trust fund money? We know Dennis implicated Ruben at the end of round 1, so maybe instead of leaving with the money, her plan for round 2 was to fuck with Ruben, take his body, cancel his wedding, and send a few dick pics. The problem is, she doesn't do that. She does nothing in round 2 other than get high. Is that really her revenge plan for Ruben? A nice buzz?
I'm in serious fucking trouble here.
Beatrice's beef was with Nikki, Forbes, and Dennis. So why does Cyrus get fucked so hard? Okay, he's a piece of shit in our eyes, but he didn't do jack to Beatrice. Real revenge would have been Beatrice putting Nikki or Dennis into Cyrus's body so they'd end up in prison.
I was supposed to go into Ruben's body, but then I guess your sister messed with some shit.
No, the final plan was that you were going to go into Forbes' body and then take the machine and become Jared Leto.
The cops are saying that someone took money out of Dennis's bank account before he died and transferred it to some random offshore account.
The most unbelievable thing in the movie might be that there's a company out there that only charges $5 to transfer $2.5 million to an offshore account and with no further checks.
Sweetie pie hole! Como se llama? No! Kelly Clarkson!
I'm looking at porn.
You know what?
I'm excited. We're ready for our next course.
Finna watch my boy get hitched. Hashtag Rufia. Hashtag Lambo.
Hashtag Grr Mondays.
Surprise, motherfucker.
What do you remember about Forbes?
Favorite non-pornographic magazine to masturbate to.
How long does it last?
You can light a match, blow out the flame, and put the hot ember on your wrist. And that will focus the brain elsewhere, and you will lose your erection.
You're freaking me out. I'm freaked the f out right now, okay?
You are freaking out, man.
You obviously have to go into Ruben's body.
Well, if you were me, then I'd be you! And I'd use your body to get to the top! You can't stop me no matter who you are!
That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
What's the plan? Right.
Take Carl, go to Mum's, kill Phil, sorry, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over.